Hey guys, so looking at different technique and setup to do with different sort of cardio equipment that we use in the gym. This first one, the rower. Setting up with, first main business is where and how to set up your feet. So to start off with, you can set your heel height to change. For me, number 3 works out rather well because you want this strap onto the base of your toes. So for me, number 3 works out rather well for my size 10 shoes. If that's a little bit too low, so that number 5 down in there, that means that strap's gonna be right up onto my toes and I might feel some strain and pressure trying to keep that tension through there each time that I pull out and trying to pull myself back in. The opposite may happen if it's a little bit too high up into here. What that means is the strap is gonna be really high up onto my shoe and it might just be a little bit more uncomfortable through there. So just play around with it and try to find a good spot. Generally, somewhere around there will work out rather well for you. Cool. And then, once you got that sorted, another point of business, if you've ever fallen off a roller, ever fallen off the seat on the rower, or you've seen someone else do it, generally it's because you sit a bit too far back. So then what happens is, when you come out onto your first stroke and you sit back, that seat will shoot forward, out from underneath you, and it hurts a little bit. To avoid that, sit into the middle. Coming on then into the pull of each stroke, what you're looking for is to make it feel like you're using your legs quite a lot, and keeping your back erect, sort of feels like a good deadlift. And pulling out, and trying to get the rower just below your sternum is a good spot to aim for. Make sure it's a good upper body pull in there and you're using your legs as much as you can. Keep your abs turned on. Don't try to lean back too far. Constrain some muscles through your back and also to work your abs a whole heap if you're doing a sit-up every single time that you do a stroke through there. Again, try to aim for a big stroke all the way out and get as much chain out of there as you can, and treat going back in as a bit of recovery time. If you cycle through that one, generally it works out a little bit better in keeping momentum on the in the rotor through there, and also making sure each stroke is really good quality. Good. We'll move on, going on up to the skio. Similar concept on here and same functioning. What we're looking for is a good quality stroke on each pull and a bit of recovery on the way back up. Main method to use, standing here like this and pulling down with both hands, using a hip hinge motion. Just make sure it's a good quality movement because you'll generally be doing quite a few of these ones. If you know that movement sucks for you, you might need to stay a little bit more upright and use your arms a little bit more for in there. Just make sure it's a nice quality pull, standing up comfortably each time. That is a main method there. Another method you can use, alternating your arms like this, but that will work your arms quite a bit more and also a bit more of demand on your core to avoid twisting each way on there. Distance to stand away from the skio, just enough that your arms won't hit anything to do with it. Generally if your feet are sort of towards the back here, it should work out rather well. Try to keep something on there and not actually standing off it. You might rock side to side quite a bit. Cool. Let's move on. Coming up onto the bike. This one's the assault bike here. We're onto this one. Main one, if you're on the bike, is to look at the seat height. The thing you're looking for is to make sure when you're at the bottom of the stroke, you still have a little bit of an angle in your knee there. If it's a little bit too high and you're locking out, it can cause some issues and aches and pains through your knee, and it constantly overextending on each stroke. So look for about there, or a little bit shorter. Try not to go for too short because you won't get as much lever angle, lever advantage onto there. With the assault bike, you've got some handles to help you out here as well. Main point with using them is try to stay upright and do an even push and pull on each side. And with how to use your legs, what you'll find is generally when you first start off on the bike is you'll want to stomp down on each side. You'll get a good burn going on in your quads. Try, still do that, it'll work out well, to stomp but then sweep through and pull up on the stroke. That'll use your hamstring a little bit more and take some pressure off the top here. So you're sort of getting the best out of both worlds and feeling a burn everywhere in your leg instead of just onto the top. You can shift this seat forward and backwards, using this one down into here. that's more just for how comfortable you are. If you do find that if you're sitting a bit more back, it's a little bit easier to say stomp down, and that's where your issues might be. For me, I know I need to be much more forward to take some pressure off of my quads to be able to sort of get an efficient cycle going through.